welcome back. One of the things that we see quite a bit in our assessments with our players is just a lack of hip mobility, and we test it by doing a lower quarter range, looking to see if an individuals have 60 degrees at least of internal and external hip rotation. Like I said, we're seeing a lot of individuals that struggle with that. So I'm going to walk Matt through several correctives that we work with our players for individuals that struggle with it. So you bring your feet in and have them just a little bit wider than shoulder width. For individuals that may have had hip replacements, maybe a knee replacement, you're going to see some limitations in their range of motion to be able to get in this setup. So you just have to modify that, okay? Just be smart with that. One of the things I'd like to see though, once he's got his feet set flat on the floor and they're wider than shoulder width, good posture up through your chest if you don't mind, so get up tall here. And then we're just looking to see, can he keep this leg steady, but take this knee down to that heel, and this foot can roll. So go ahead and bring that knee down. So getting good external hip rotation there. A little limited, as you can see. And then let's come back up. So this one's up tall. Let's bring this guy in now. Meanwhile, I'm checking to make sure his pelvis isn't really lifting off the floor and that his arm from the side that he's stretching isn't coming along for the ride. We want his arms to stay put to support his posture. We want the pelvis to stay down. So bring that foot back. Bring this knee down one last time. And the big thing I usually mention for individuals that may have had a knee replacement or hip replacement is don't force the issue. Just go to whatever your end range of motion is for that day. Okay, come back, let's bring the left knee down, and then we're going to progress out of that. Do let the foot roll. Allow that to happen, okay? All right, the next part of this series, bring both knees up. Let's go ahead and let both knees come down. So feet are wider than shoulder width, feet are flat on the floor. Let both knees go down as far as you can now. Okay, and if their feet are too close together, this knee would hit that shoe. So I would just say, let's take your feet just a little bit wider, and now let this knee come down and that knee come down. Again, we're still looking to make sure hands support posture, pelvis has stayed in a pretty good position there. And I would just hold this probably 3 or 4 seconds. It's not a 10-15 second hold. And we're going to work on going probably 3 or 4 times in each direction. Okay, so again, just working on, if you can think of what's happening at the hip capsule, the femur bone coming up into the hip socket, we're trying to really work on good range of motion and getting that hip to mobilize. Let's come back, each one more time. And we're looking for the inside part of this knee to lay down and the outside part of that knee to lay down. And again, if it doesn't happen today, not a problem. We're working towards those ranges of motion. The next one I'd like to work to is a 90-90 hip series. So let's bring this leg in front at 90 degrees and that leg off to the side at 90 degrees. Okay, so setup is key here, I feel like. So this hip is this knee is right in front of that hip, and this knee is right out to the side of that hip. Okay, from there I'm just going to ask him to bring his chest straight over the top of that front knee. So we're looking for a pretty neutral spine. I wouldn't want to see somebody just round out their back to try to get over the top of that knee. But he's going to feel a pretty good stretch in that left hip there.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, come back up tall. Let's walk your hands to your right just a little bit, and now work on bringing your chest more over your shin. That's going to increase the stretch on that capsule of the left hip. Okay, from there I'm going to ask him to come back up tall. Take both hands to the outside of your left leg, and let's walk to your left as far as you can. So we're going to ask him to rotate his posture and start to get a stretch right into this hip here. And then the last part of this sequence, let's come back to facing me. Let your left hand support your posture. Let's hold the left knee down with your right hand. And I'm going to ask him to bring his right foot right where his right knee has been sitting. So go ahead and replace that knee with your foot. Okay, perfect. From there, we're going to keep this knee pinned to the floor. We're going to bring this knee to the heel. So getting some good external rotation, and then we're going to work on an extreme range of motion in internal rotation of that hip. So now take that knee open as far as you can. So for individuals that may struggle, foot placement is going to be key. So if he brought his foot more right here, he could probably get a little bit more range of motion out of that knee.
You'd think.
Okay, so let's pin this one back down to the ground and really work on opening that guy up. Okay, bring the knee back down, and then let's reopen again. And then he would trade which knee is in front, which one's off to the side. So in each one of those, you can relax. You see that we're really only holding those stretches for 4, 5, 6 seconds maybe, and we're repeating them 2 or 3 times, okay? So as a player goes through that multiple days per week, if not every day of the week, you're gonna see in a week or 2, they're gonna make really good progress in their hip mobility. So for you guys that have tight hips, for you gals that have tight hips, that's a great series to improve your hip mobility.